Israel is threatening more attacks into Gaza today. Palestinians say hundreds are dead in the aftermath of the surprise bombardment overnight.
I woke up to the sounds of explosions and fire, so we went out and came here after the ambulances to see that everything was charred.
This is video into us from Rafah this morning. Thousands of Palestinians are on the move inside Gaza once again. And in a sign that more strikes could follow the surprise bombardment overnight, the Israeli military is ordering Palestinians to evacuate eastern Gaza and to shelter in Khan Yunis. Crystal Gomansing is leading CBC News coverage of the war from the region. She's live with us this hour in Jerusalem. Crystal, let's begin with the very latest information. What do we know in terms of numbers and what has happened in Gaza?
Well, according to Hamas, Heather, hundreds have been killed, many more still under the rubble. The hospitals that are still operating are reporting that they are having trouble trying to treat the injured. Of course, we do know that no supplies, including medicine equipment, fuel, has been able to get into Gaza since March 2nd. That's when Israel stopped all of the aid shipments. And those people who were in the Rafah area and many other locations are now on the move once again. Israel Defense Forces issued a number of evacuation orders, calling several areas combat zones, telling people that they would be in danger unless they left. So people fleeing to, they've been told to flee to western Gaza City as well as Khan Yunis. But those are some of the areas that were also hit overnight and into early this morning. Across Gaza, there were strikes that were intense, an intense wave of strikes. People on the ground describe really harrowing conditions, including trying to dig through the rubble to save those buried.
Since 2 a.m, we have been collecting the remains of people from the streets. They are all civilians, children. We've been pulling the remains of children since this morning. There are many injuries and martyrs who have reached the hospitals, and we're still collecting the remains of people.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered strong action to push Hamas to accept a proposal to extend the current ceasefire in exchange for hostages, as well as Palestinian prisoners being released. They had rejected that. Earlier in the day, we heard from Israel's ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon. He said if the UN Security Council wants the war to stop, it will have to act and push Hamas to release all of the hostages.
We will show no mercy on our enemies. Let me be very clear. Israel will not stop until all of our hostages are back home.
Now, Israeli officials are saying they will continue with these strikes. Hamas says the airstrikes and shelling are, quote, a death sentence to the hostages that are still being held in Gaza. It's believed 24 are still alive. Outside of the Defense Ministry headquarters in Tel Aviv, there is an encampment set up. They are trying to push for all of the hostages to be released at once, and they are calling the resumption of fighting disastrous for those hostages.
I think it's disastrous because we have our kidnapped people sitting there, and it can only either they will be hurt directly or by the Hamas. It will not bring anything good, nothing.
Netanyahu has met with his defense minister and top security officials. We expect that we'll get a little bit more information about what they are planning. But at this point, Heather, we do know that they are planning more strikes.
And has there, Crystal, been any notable international reaction after the Israeli airstrikes?
There has been a lot of international reactions that we're hearing from Russian officials, Turkish officials, Iranian officials, all condemning the shelling and airstrikes that we saw overnight. We're also hearing from the UN's humanitarian chief, Volker Turk. He has said that this is now tragedy on top of a tragedy and is calling for the strikes to end. We're also hearing from officials with the World Health Organization who are deeply concerned about about the deteriorating conditions given that no aid has gone into Gaza since March 2nd.
Surgical supplies that's expected to run out soon. And now with what happened now with the airstrikes, etc., it's only put this into a much more serious environment.
Israeli officials, as well as U.S. President Donald Trump, just recently said if Hamas didn't agree to an extension and that new proposal known as the Witkoff framework, there would be, quote, hell to pay.